Mike Phillips down here at Autogeek Show Car Garage. And first thing I want to do in this video is I want to show you the results from our Detailing 101 class after our students buffed out this extremely swirled out 1996 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Now when this thing got here, you couldn't see a reflection, there was no shine, there was no gloss. In fact, it looked like the owner had washed it with either a Scotch-Brite pad or an SOS pad. There were so many swirls and scratches in the paint. In fact, most people would think that there was no way to save it, it would have to get repainted. And after going through the Detailing 101 class, I turned the students loose, and they removed all the swirls and scratches by machine, polished to a high gloss, and then they even waxed it by machine. And look at the results. The paint literally looks like it just came out of the paint booth. It is so deep and reflective with a nice wet shine. Now for this, we use the Pinnacle Advanced Swirl Remover and the Pinnacle Advanced Finishing Polish, and then we topped it off using the Pinnacle Sovereign Paste Wax. And again, just look at that shine. This thing really came out nice. Now the Detailing 101 class starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and goes to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And it primarily focuses on how to work by machine. We start out going over some tips and techniques for how to safely wash your car and dry it. And I just share a lot of cool tools to help you do that kind of job, including things like the grit guard, different types of wash mitts and brushes. Okay, then we go over claying techniques and how to inspect the paint to even see if it needs to be clayed, and then something called the baggie test. After the baggie test, that's where the fun begins. That's where the hands-on portion is. And we start out learning how to use dual-action polishers like the Griot's Garage 6-inch random orbital polisher, the Meguiar's G12, the G110 V2, which is also what we call a dual-action polisher, and of course the Porter Cable 7424 XP. These are dual action polishers also. They're one of the easiest tools there are to learn how to use and master when it comes to working by machine. We also have the Cyclo Mark V, which is the new variable speed. You can see the little dial adjuster right there. You can dial in the speed you want to work. And this of course uses dual counter-rotating heads, which mimic fine hand polishing. This thing is very lightweight, very balanced. A lot of people really like this. It's been around since 1951. You can also get brushes for doing things like cleaning leather seats or carpets and fabrics. We also cover the Flex 3401 forced rotation dual action polisher. And we have these set up with both the 5.5-inch pads and the 6.5-inch pads, so you really get a good experience using all these different types of tools for removing swirls, scratches, and water spots, polishing to a high gloss, and even applying wax by machine. And then if you want, I show you how to, some special techniques for taking and removing waxes by hand, and also how to put a bonnet on a clean dry pad and remove wax by machine. And then we also cover things like little tips like marking your pads so you can tell when they're rotating, because it's when they're rotating that you're removing the swirls. Then how to clean your pads using things like pad conditioning brushes, a tip I called cleaning your pad on the fly, which uses a terry cloth towel, and also the Grit Guard Universal Pad Washer. This is a really cool tool. You put your pad in there, pump it up and down, it injects the pad with a cleaning solution, then you rub it against the Grit Guard insert and pulls all the residue out for you. It's a real fast way to get your pad clean and get back to work. That is the Saturday 101 detailing class. Got one coming up July 9th. Now, if you really want to get into machine polishing, we have a 102 class, and this involves how to machine sand and hand sand to remove things like orange peel, serious defects like swirls and scratches, and also surface texture. And we go over when you would sand and why you would sand, and a lot of safety precautions, and of course tips and techniques for the tools we're going to use. Now to do this, we don't use wet dry paper. We use what's called a finishing paper, okay? And these finish all the way up to 3,000 grit. And when you finish out at 3,000, it's actually pretty easy to remove your sanding marks. We also cover a technique called damp sanding, and for this we use the 3M air-powered Orbital DA sander, and I also will show you how to use an electric DA sander using the right backing plate and an interface pad. And the sanding discs we use are the Meguiar's Unigrit sanding disc, which is a thin sanding disc specifically for damp sanding, but we mostly concentrate on the foam finishing discs. Again, finishing, because we're doing really high quality work. These start at 1,500 and go to a very, very gentle 3,000 grit, Unigrit. and these will work really easy. And again, if you finish out 3,000, it's real easy to remove your sanding marks. Now, to remove the sanding marks, we focus on using Rotary Buffers. This is the brand new Flex PE14. It's really lightweight, easy to use. We actually use these in the Detailing 101 class too, because a lot of people want to learn how to use a rotary. So we throw that in with the dual action polishers. So after we sand, we learn how to use the rotary buffers, wool pads, and foam pads. I have a pretty good collection of different types of rotary buffers. Here's the Makita, the DeWalt, which is a staple in the industry. I teach a technique called picking your bead up at the 10 at 10 technique. Here's the Flex 3403, Flex PE14, all different kinds of sizes of pads. Here's a big 8-inch convoluted 3M pad. Here's the, this is actually the Optimum dual-sided foam pad. We go over the different types of attachment systems, you know, backing plates, different arbors. How to get those all set up for machine compounding, polishing. We always have a different variety of different types of the more popular compounds and polishes you can try. Here's the Optimum, the Meguiars, the Wolfgang, the 3M. Here's the Mother's line. Of course, we use the Pinnacle line too. And for cleaning wool pads, we cover how to use the System 2000 pad washer. We do things like show you how to measure the paint thickness using a paint thickness gauge. Make sure you don't get yourself in any kind of danger, of course, taping off, and just all kinds of tips and techniques for using rotary buffers to remove sanding marks, polish to high gloss, and create a true show car finish. Anyway, that's the Detailing 101 and Detailing 102 classes here at Autogeek's Show Car Garage. The next ones are coming up July 9th, that's a Saturday. July 10th, that's a Sunday. Now, note, you have to go to the Detailing 101 class before you can go to the Detailing 102 class. That's a prerequisite. So clear your schedules, make plans to be here. For more information, go to autogeek.net. Look for a text link. It's usually yellow. It reads detailing classes. Click on it. You can get more information there. Or you can always call our 1-800 number, and our friendly and expert staff is always ready to help you to get signed up for that class. And that's at 1-800-869-3011. Again, that's July 9th and July 10th. I hope to see you here. Again, my name is Mike Phillips here at Autogeek's Show Car Garage in sunny Stuart, Florida. Nice.